Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of What Are You Going to Do About It? I am incredibly humbled to have this gentleman on this video today, Anton Clifford. We met during an acting class, and I just remember when I met him, I was like, oh my gosh, like this young man is so amazing. I was captivated by his story and by his optimism and the encouragement that he received from using Kobe's Mamba mentality.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality always.
Exactly. And, I affectionately got the name of Big Sis while I was in the class because I was so much older than everybody else.
We didn't think so. We couldn't tell though.
Well, thank you. I take that as a compliment. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have Anton here. How are you today, Anton?
I'm doing good. I'm just trying to stay warm in this dark, rainy, cold week in Atlanta.
I know. Anton, I want you to tell people, just a little bit about yourself. We met in acting class, and you have just really, you're booming since the class. So
crazy.
I know it really is crazy, and it's only been a little over a year, but you're booked and busy.
Yeah, pretty much.
So why don't you tell people like some of the things that you've been involved in since then?
Well, I'll introduce them to me. My name is Anton Clifford. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm a C4, C5 quadriplegic. Unfortunately, I was paralyzed in a car accident. I was a passenger in a car accident at the age of 16 while I was visiting my family in Jamaica over the Christmas holidays, December 28, 2009. I was involved in an accident in which my cousin was driving, and he lost control and crashed into a semi-truck, a tractor trailer, and the car broke in half. Caused me to break my C4, C5 vertebrae and causing paralysis. And unfortunately, one of my cousins in the back seat, he was 19, he passed away. And two other cousins made it out with no injury. And my cousin that was actually driving was in a coma for 3 months. He suffers a minor brain injury. So I'm pretty much, I'm just blessed to be here,
Yes. Every time, I get so teary-eyed every time I hear you talk about it, because, to know that you've been through that and still you stay so positive. Like, I never heard you complain. I never see you complaining on social media or anything like that. So it's just really a blessing to know you and to also know your story. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So the premise of this show is simple. We ask 3 questions. What was the problem? How did you identify it? And what did you do about it? So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you so that you can tell us what the problem was and how you got to the point where you identified it was a problem.
All right. I can go through a list of a whole bunch of problems and obstacles I've been through. But the number one problem was for me, when as soon as I got out of the hospital, is what I'm going to do with trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. Because I was 16 years old, and at that time I was completely paralyzed from my neck down. I couldn't move anything below my neck. I couldn't even move my arms like I am right now. Wow. And I was, they told me that I probably would never move anything below my neck again, but they were wrong. But, yeah, I was trying to figure out what to do in life. What am I going to do with my life when I got out of the hospital? So I just I sat on it. I prayed on it. Try to come up with stuff what can I still do to be of value while being in a wheelchair? Mm-hmm. So I decided to go back to high school. And I think that's the best decision I ever made in my whole life, because I was around my friends, and it just gave me an outlet to keep my mind off of things. And it gave me, helped me to use my brain still, and let me know that even though I'm paralyzed and I can't feel my body, can't move my body, and I'm in a lot of nerve pain and going through all that stuff, I'm still in my right mind.
How long were you out of school?
I was out of school for a good maybe 5 months.
Wow.
But I graduated on time still.
Wow, that's amazing.
I took summer courses because I was a junior. So I was a junior when I got paralyzed. So I took summer courses to catch up. Mm-hmm. And we took online courses in the summer too. But so by the time I came back senior year, I was right on track with everybody else, and I was able to just hop back in. But I went back to school for maybe like a month or two think the last 2 months of school.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so during that time where you were, you're trying to deal with your new normal, how were you feeling during that time? Like, what were you going through, before you finally made the decision, okay, I need to go back to school?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a roller coaster ride mentally. Like you're 16 years old. I was dealing with the loss of my cousin in the accident. People don't know this, but I didn't even know he passed away in the accident. Like I found out he passed while I was in the hospital. I kind of suspected something was off because I kept asking about him, how's he doing? Because we were sitting right beside each other in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think 2 months or 3 months after I was in the hospital, they finally told me that, I think one of she was a psychologist or a counselor. She talked to me. She was like, your cousin didn't make it. So I had that on my shoulder too at 16. And then dealing with that mentally, that kind of messed me up to let me know how serious this accident actually was. Because I'm paralyzed and my cousin didn't make it. And I didn't know what happened to my cousin that was driving. I just knew he was in the hospital too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I knew two of my cousins. And on top of that, I was on life support myself too for a while. I was in ICU, looked up to feeding tubes in my nose. I was just laying in there, man. I had ventilator, everything. So when I finally got to the point where I was able to operate a wheelchair, they had this new wheelchair. It's not a new wheelchair. It was new to me though, because I didn't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the guy that Superman guy, the sip and puff wheelchair. He used to blow into it. Mm-hmm. And since I was paralyzed from my neck down, that's what I had to do. So they taught me. They put me through a little manual. I had my driver's license in real life, so I was like, yeah, this is gonna be easy. I can drive this. Mm-hmm. But boy, was I wrong. I started blowing. I would blow it and it would go, and then I would lose control and crash into people.
Oh no!
So I had to turn my speed all the way down, and it was very low, and it was just I was kind of amazed with the technology too. I'm sitting there like, what kind of technology is this? You blow it one time, you go forward, and you suck it like this, and you go back, and you suck it like soft, like a little bit, like to turn left, and you blow into it soft to go right.
Wow. So I'm listening to you now, and and just like you're always so upbeat, always positive. It had to be like when you first found out, when you were laying in that hospital bed, like there had to be, or was there ever like feeling like, why did I survive this just to live my life like this? Or, or was there ever a questioning or struggling, just mentally with the cards you had been dealt?
Yeah. I was kind of confused, really, honestly. I didn't really understand like how spinal cord injuries actually work. Mm-hmm. So I knew I couldn't feel my legs. I knew I couldn't move anything. But to me, in my head, like I would tell, as I was in the hospital in Jamaica, they had a Bay Area and it was very hot. And they flew. I got airlifted eventually from Jamaica to Miami. I was in Jackson Memorial in the ICU. But when I was in Jamaica, I was telling everybody I'm moving my legs. Like I'm laying there and I'm laying in the bed and I'm telling everybody, yeah, I'm moving. I'm all right.
Wow, because you're mentally, you're telling your legs to move, but it wasn't.
And it's not moving.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, yeah, to hear, like I never connected that, because your mind is still working, but your spinal cord was injured, and so therefore the message wasn't getting down to your legs.
Right.
Wow.
So in my head, I'm thinking that I'm moving everything. I'm thinking that everything's moving, but I'm wondering why I'm not getting up. And I thought maybe I had a sprained ankle or something like that. In my head, mentally, I'm just, because I'm an athlete,
right,
thinking I can get away. I'm thinking about playing basketball and going back to the next game the next day. I told my dad, I was like, we have a game next Saturday. I need to get ready to play the game. He was like, yeah, he said, you'll be sitting out for a little bit. But he didn't tell me I could see it in his eyes that it was something serious.
Right. So you said that going back to school, the problem was, of course, this horrific accident, and you dealing with everything psychologically and physically, trying to heal from that. So you realized at some point, okay, I'm alive. I had to do something with my life. and you decided to go back to school. You say that was the best decision you ever made. Why do you feel like that was the best decision?
Well, now that I look back at it, like honestly, like I look at even my peers that are paralyzed, and some of them that were my age, that because they gave us a choice. It's not like I had to go back to high school if I didn't want to. I mean, I had a choice. I mean, I had a choice. I could sit in my room and just chill. I mean, have a nurse come in, look after me, and just go about my life. And some of my peers that were in the hospital with me chose to do that. And I mean, some of them, unfortunately, they're not here today. They went through circumstances that took them out. And I think that could have played a part in it, because when you're sitting around, you're in a room 24/7, I think your mind connects with your body too. You start feeling like you're worthless. Like you just start feeling dark, and then other sicknesses come, and then you might get pressure sores and UTI. I mean, not that it's going to prevent a UTI from going out and stuff like that, but I mean, other things mentally attribute to going through that type of stuff. Right. So I think if I would have stayed in my room all the time, I mean, I would have other problems. I would probably be depressed. They'd probably have me on antidepressants. I probably would have taken a lot of pain medication. I mean, originally they had me on a lot of pain medications, but I've learned to wean myself off it. Because I mean, and by going out and being amongst people, and by acting itself, it helps me to keep my mind off of my pain. Right. Okay. Like that. So that was, I mean, that itself kept me motivated. Just knowing that if I stay in there, like if I stay in a room 24/7, and I have nothing but my thoughts to use. And I mean, it can get dark when you're just sitting in a room and you start thinking about, oh yeah, I could have been this, I could have been that. So I had to throw away all the cans and collect all the cans. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah, that's inspiring. So you mentioned acting, right? So you made the decision to go back to school. At what point did you say, you know what, I think I want to be an actor?
Believe it or not, this just happened 2 years ago, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Nobody believes it. Like, no, even the people that I'm on set with. I'm on set with Nickelodeon. I'm on set with Queen Sugar and all this. Set with this other project that's coming out, I don't know, next few months. I can't talk about it, but it's with NBC. But yeah, they think that I've been doing this for a while. No, I just went into it 2 years ago. But I was around my friend that was one of my closest friends, Devon Wright. He was in theater when I was in high school. And I would go to his plays all the time, and I would sit backstage and watch them prepare for lines and rehearse. And because he was one of my closest friends, he actually used to look after me and like help me with caregiving stuff and personal stuff. He's one of my closest friends to this day. And I was around it, and I always thought it was cool, but I never saw myself doing it, because I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm in a wheelchair. Who wants to see a guy in a wheelchair act? I mean, who wants to see it? But I was 24/7. I was around it. Like every time after school, I mean, I would go to his rehearsals, go to his plays, and sit there and watch it, and just sit there and watch the process. And I'm like, I saw the thrill that it was bringing him, and the enjoyment that he took just in the rehearsal process and the preparation. I always thought it would be cool, but in my head, I just didn't think it was possible. So when my friend finally, like 2 years ago, I had a friend, her name's Michelle Sewell. Me and her are very, very close. She's like my sister. She's like, Anton, why don't you get into acting? I told her no. I said, why would I get into acting? She was like, there's opportunities. They're looking for diversity now. They're more inclusive. And then she asked me, and so I told her no. I said, no, I'm not. That's not remembering lines and all that. It's not for me. And then she asked me again another time. She was like, Anton, why don't you just audit the class? So, and I was like, no, again. And then she asked me again 2 months later, a third time. She's like, Anton, just come audit the class. I was like, all right, Michelle, fine. I'll go. And I sat in the class and actually watched it. And I audited the class, and I still had my doubts. But I made up my mind. I said, you know what? There's not a lot of disabled actors out here. I want to carry that wave, and I want to pave the way for other disabled people. Because there are some disabled actors that are out there, but there's not that many. Only 2% of actors that are disabled have speaking roles in the industry. And most of those are documentaries. Most of them are not even acting. Right. So I said I'm going to be a part of this. I'm going to be a part of the new wave. I'm going to set the trend and help pave the way for other kids. I want Because when I was in the hospital, at one point I went to Philadelphia, Shriners Children's Hospital, and I was around a lot of kids that were disabled, and they didn't have anything to look up to, really. They wanted to see people they want to see themselves represented. Like, I think I kind of got emotional when I saw one kid. I forgot his name. No, his name was Max. He was like 4 years old, and at the time they were doing Build-A-Bear was doing wheelchair bears. And he had like a wheelchair teddy bear. I'm like, wow, that's cool. That's something that he feels that he can relate to. So acting, when just like everybody they want to see the LGBT, they want to see everything represented. There's not a lot of wheelchair or disabled people out there. So disabled people need somebody to look up to. So I was like, I'm gonna take it on. I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna get as good as I can get.
That should be me. Let me just do that.
I said, I have no training. I don't know where this is gonna take me, but hey, I'm just gonna try my best and keep training, and keep seeking knowledge from different people and see how far I can go with it. I mean, I had no expectations. If anything, I told myself, I said I'll settle to be a writer, if anything.
So do you think your positive attitude and also acting, is that what helps you, I guess, kind of get past those things when they tell you, for example, you said that they said you would not be able to move anything from your neck down, and now I know that you go through physical therapy and, you're getting stronger and all that stuff. Is it the acting? Is it your attitude? Like, what keeps you going and, keep defying the odds? What helps you do that?
That's a good question. It's a little bit of both, actually. Because, I mean, the thing is, with acting, I can be anything. I can be anything I can't be while I'm on my feet.
Yep.
And it requires me to really dig deep and use my imagination for a lot of roles. A lot of these roles that I'm playing, I have to put myself in that circumstance. Just like, you read the script, the character becomes us. We don't become. I mean, it's not like we're trying to imitate anything. We're just being ourselves in that circumstance.
Right.
And we find ourselves. So the thing is about acting is, I don't have to worry about if I can stand up. I'm 6'1". If I stand up, I'm tall. I don't have to be 6'1". I can be in my wheelchair sitting right there and have the same power. And I can use my voice, and I'm still in my right mind. There's a lot of gestures you can use to affect the scene. So yeah, I think they both complement each other.
That's awesome. I don't know, like it's just, like I said, I'm always amazed, and it's like you don't know how you would react to certain situations until you're actually in this situation. And I don't know if I'm as strong as you. I'm like, man, like, just looking at different people's situation, I'm like, God knows, like, who his strongest soldiers are, because I don't know if I would have the same type of positive attitude and just be the light that you are. So I just appreciate your humbleness. I appreciate the fact that, again, every time I see you, you're always smiling, always upbeat. I'm sure you have bad days like everybody else, but, it's not visible. We can't tell. And I appreciate, just going through the acting class with you. I appreciate the authenticity you brought to the character and, helping me become a better actor as well. So, I just wanted to tell you thank you for that. And thank you for the inspiration.
No problem. And I think that's my purpose. And like, what you said, like one thing you just said about not being able to, you may not be able to deal with it. It's crazy. I'm going to tell you this story. I don't think I've ever told this to anybody. I think a week before or 2 weeks before, I was in this health and PE class, and there's a teacher named Coach Milam. She showed us a documentary on Christopher Reeves and his whole story. Watch out, he was paralyzed. And I remember talking to one of my friends, like my friend, we were 16 at the time, and he asked me, he was like, because the whole circumstance, like him not being able to wipe his own bottom and stuff like that. My friend was like, yeah, Anton, what would you do if you were in that position? I said, bro, I'd probably just kill myself.
Wow.
Kid you not. 3 weeks later, I was in the same position. Same position.
Wow. So you never know how strong you are, I guess.
Exactly. You never know.
Yeah. Wow. Well, why don't you tell everyone how to follow you and I guess, how to watch you in Queen Sugar and some of these other projects and the projects that you can speak about that are coming up?
Well, I'm on right now. If you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Anton Clifford, Anton Clifford, and you'll see the realest Jamaican pop up. The realest Jamaican. And for me, if you want to watch my episode, I'm in Queen Sugar season 5, episode 9. It's on Hulu and it's on demand too as well. It's on. If you watch it on demand, it's on OWN network, OWN TV. So season 5, episode 9, and then I have a little part in the Nickelodeon, this Nickelodeon movie that just came out. We're in February. Oh, it came out in December, and it's called California Dreaming. I'm playing a stagehand. It's on Hulu as well.
Okay.
And I've done a national TV commercial. It's this company called Necessity, which is a powerful commercial because it's focusing on making the internet accessible for everybody else. For those that are blind, those that are, especially the paralyzed, can't move their fingers like me. And I did a pilot with NBC, and hopefully, I have to keep you guys posted on that if it comes out. I think it's coming out though.
I can't wait. Yes, I'm gonna be like proud big sis.
Yeah, we learned
behind.
Me and Emmanuel were talking about this too. We learned a lot from you in class. Which is crazy because you were the veteran. We came in there, we were rookies.
Well, thank you. I don't. It's hard for me to accept the compliment. So this is about you. So
I'm sitting in class, I'm taking notes from you.
Well, thank you. Well, we learned from each other, and you pushed me. So, I'm glad that I was able to return the favor as well.
I think we had a good class all together. Emmanuel, it's funny, me and Emmanuel had the same agent now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Emmanuel just signed with my agent, I think, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So, he's with the same alliance.
I may need an introduction.
Oh, yeah. You should.
Well, it'll be the family back together again.
Yeah, we got to get us all together. We all just, he was submitting for a couple, agencies and doing the thing, searching, and they hit him up, so. Oh. Yeah, I'm happy for him. He's been doing good too. And he's probably you and him. Oh, I did a scene with remember the girl Alicia that was in class too?
Yes.
We did a romance scene a few months ago.
Wow. Yeah, I did see that.
We did it, and I wrote it with my friend Michelle, and then I wanted to bring it to life. It's about, especially a disabled love story and some of the challenges that disabled men go through. Especially being paralyzed with a spinal cord injury. And I wrote it with my friend Michelle, and I told her the idea, and I told Alicia, I was like, you want to play it? And she was like, and she didn't turn. She was like, yeah, man, she's willing to bring it to life. I said, this is art. So big up to her.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate you taking out time. I know you're booked and busy. So for you to take out time to do this show, I know it is very much appreciated. I appreciate your time. I respect people's time a great deal. So thank you for sharing your story. And, I just look for you to do big things.
Likewise, both of us. I think 2022 is going to be a good year for both of us. Let's speak it in existence.
Exactly. Yes, keep that attitude. All right. Thank you guys. Again, you can follow Anton on social media. You're on Instagram. Are you on Twitter or anything else? Or is just
I'm on Instagram and Facebook. If you're on Facebook, type Anton Xavier Xavier and Clifford Clifford, like Big Red Dog.
All right.
Which is another movie that just came out. So.
Oh man. Again, thank you for joining. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to hit like and subscribe to the channel so that you can hear other inspiring stories like this. And just continue to ask yourself, if you have a problem as you go through these things in life, always go back to, okay, what am I going to do about it? And do something about it. Thank you again, Anton.
Thank you so much. And it was good seeing you again. And we're always in contact. Classmates forever. So
classmates forever. Right. Thank you guys. Have an amazing day. Bye.
All right.